So segmentation is breaking down your audience into smaller parts which you can target with the right messaging that's relevant for them. So for example, let's say you have 100,000 list on your account. You wouldn't send one email to your entire list because there's different messaging for everyone. There's different kind of content that everyone wants to consume. So let's just say, for example, you're hosting an event in London and you have people in your list from all around the world. Sending that invite won't be relevant to maybe 80,000 of your list because they're in different locations. So you would send that email just to that one list, which is of 20,000 people based in London. That way you get better open rates, better click rates, and hopefully better revenue if the goal of the email is to get revenue as well. So why segmentation is important for your account is to ensure that your subscribers aren't getting the information that's not meant for them. Plus, it's very important to ensure good deliverability on your account and keep down your sending costs, because once you start sending emails to everyone on your list, of course, you are sending more according to your Klaviyo plan, and of course you'll be billed more for that as well. So if you keep those number of sends down and hit the right audience at the right time with the right message, it's the ideal situation for you and your subscribers. So segmentation is overall a very, very diverse topic, and we wouldn't be able to cover all the variables in just one single video. But if you look at the main variables that normal e-commerce stores engagement-based filters, so these could be as simple as an email open, which we know is slightly skewed due to Apple privacy opens, but still it's a variable that we do track over time. Click rates, but there are other metrics apart from email that you can use to segment your audience as well. Has someone been active on your site? Have they been viewing any products on your website? Have they been adding to cart? Have they been starting checkout? Have they placed an order? And all of these are different stages of buying intent, and as a customer progresses through the journey, you're of course able to hit them with the right relevant messaging through your flows, and that's possible through segmentation. Now the other side, depending on what your e-commerce store sells, is to segment based out on demographics, people in a certain location, people in a certain age group, people with certain preferences that they have given you through a sign-up form that you collected zero-party data through. So there are a lot of variables at play, and this is a unique aspect for each and every brand that you work with. But making sure you have the segmentation variables nailed down for the e-commerce brand that you're working with is crucial, and will get you much better results than just blasting out an email to an entire list. So some good examples of e-commerce segmentation that I believe include are engagement-based segments, like I said earlier. And I would say that most brands don't need to micro-segment too much just because of their list size. And if they just stick to the basics of the game, they should be good to go with that. So just segmenting your audience based on their touch points with the brand. Have they added to cart? Have they started checkout? Have they been active on your site? Have they been clicking your emails, or have they been opening your emails? Just tracking these variables over a different period of time should give you an accurate segment data overall. So let's say people have engaged in the last 90 days, last 180 days, last 365 days. And then you can use the reverse side of this to see how many people have not engaged with your brand as well, and then put them through a sunset flow. If they haven't opened or clicked an email for over 6 months, you can have a one final attempt to get them back into the brand. But really there's no point in keeping them on your list as an active profile if it's been over 6 to 7 months and they haven't been interacting with your content. Maybe they were interested at a point, but now they aren't, and segmentation can basically show you that. Let's say you have a 50,000 person email list. If you go into micro-segmenting and seeing, for example, age, their demographics, their preferences, the products they've viewed, it'll eventually come down to very small numbers. If you hire an agency, or even if you're doing your email marketing in-house, the resources you allocate towards building that email campaign just won't give you the ROI that you're expecting. Now compare this to a brand that has over 1 million people on their segmented list. That way, once you start doing micro segments, even your smaller segments will still contain more, 50,000, 60,000 people in a smaller segment. So now it makes more sense to create personalized journeys for these people, and you can dig deeper into their preferences. Are they a repeat buyer? Are they a first time buyer? What's the sort of journey you want to give to them? And that's how you can delve deeper into segmentation for bigger brands. I mean, there's no harm in delving deeper into segmentation, and even smaller brands if they do it, but it all just comes down to the ROI that you will be getting from it. Of course, the 100, 1,000, 5,000 people that you are hitting with that specific messaging, of course, it'll be hyper personalized for them. You'll have, facts, language, design in there that's directly connected with where they are in their buying stage. And that, of course, is beneficial. But you just have to see that, is it worth the resources that you're spending on getting those emails created for them, getting that journey created for them? If time, money doesn't matter too much for you, then you can definitely go ahead and do it. It'll be a great experience for your customers. And the good thing about that is, if you do decide to do it at an early stage, it's something that stays with your brand for a longer period of time. So over time, once more people get added to your list, you'll still have those systems in place that take them through that journey. So personalization definitely helps in e-commerce. Let's just take an example of a fashion brand that sells both items for men and women. And using Klaviyo's predicted gender status, you can filter out people who Klaviyo likely determines to be males and females, and then you can create separate campaigns for them that have relevant personalized messaging. Now, you could say that a woman could be buying for her husband, her brother, or her father, but if she's just bought clothes in the past that from a women's collection, I would say that chances are high that they're more inclined to buy just for themselves again. So personalizing the emails on that level and sending them that personalized content is definitely going to convert better as compared to just sending them a generic email that contains items for men, and then some products for women's as well, because now you're personalizing the email just to the audience that you're working with. Another example for personalization is through the flows that you create for abandonment. So cart abandonment, checkout abandonment, browse abandonment. You are able to use Klaviyo's dynamic variables, feature them within the body copy, inside the dynamic blocks, and show the people, the products they were viewing, create smart rules to show relevant recommendations that go with products in the emails. And all of this just improves your ROI on the emails that you create, and gives a great experience to your customer journey. So what I would do in this case, I always like to keep a single list of all the subscribers coming in to the brand, and that just helps with list hygiene, because in the future when you want to do a list cleaning and filter out any unengaged people from your list, it just helps to have everyone in one place. But the cool thing about Klaviyo sign-up forms is each sign-up form has an ID, so you can, even if they are in the same list, you can filter out people based on where they're coming from. So, there's a separate exit intent form, a separate blog page form. You have that form ID in place, and what you can basically do is create two separate flows with different messaging. So for the exit intent 10% off, you'll be giving them the discount code, trying to sell them on items. And at the top of that flow, you'll just have a conditional split where you'll be able to show people that if they're coming from the exit intent 10% form, they should go down this path, otherwise we exit them from the flow. And then you could have a separate flow, or even within that same flow have a separate branch which checks for the condition that they're coming from the sign up form on the blog page, and then hit them with relevant content in there. Try to convert them with 3 to 4 emails. If they still don't convert, follow up with a 4th or 5th email that gives them a discount. I'm always in the favor of taking people off the list once they've passed a certain period being on your list and are still unengaged, haven't made a purchase, haven't interacted with your emails. I know it's compelling to keep them on your list in the hopes that, oh, maybe this person will convert one day eventually. But what you're doing in that phase is you're sacrificing your deliverability, because this person gotten 20, 25 emails and they haven't even opened a single email, they haven't even clicked a single email, they haven't even been on your website for a long time. So they're giving you all the red flags that they shouldn't be on your list, but you're still trying to keep them there. So I wouldn't say that's a great strategy. So have a sunset flow in place, which basically means over 6-7 months period of time, when a certain person has received a certain number of emails, give it a last shot through the sunset flow, 2 to 3 emails. If they still don't interact with those, just go ahead and tag them as unengaged and suppress them from the account, because if they haven't converted in 7 to 8 months, chances are very low that they will convert anytime after that.